Hey. Hi everybody, I'm Jasmine's dad. Nice to see you all. No, first time. Excited and nervous. Cheers. Easy, relaxed conversation. No made up questions, we'll just make it up as we go along. Two daughters, yeah. You and Holly. Yeah. That's right. Well, when you went for your, after about 6 months, they do hearing tests, and you couldn't hear when they were making noise behind you. So they said maybe it's because you're young and that try again later. So they tried again and nothing. You couldn't hear anything. So they thought maybe you had glue ear, and then you were 10 months old. So we went to a hospital in London, and they did full checks. They played noise behind your head, and there was like a teddy bear that was in the corner, and it would make noise, and so that if you could hear it, you'd look at it, but you didn't look at the teddy bear. And but me and Mum just thought it was glue ear, and you know they could make it better. But then the doctor took us into a room, me and Mum, and they said, your daughter is fully deaf. Shocked, because we didn't know what to do, because we didn't know any deaf people. Yeah. First time, yeah. No one in our family before was deaf. Yeah, it's because me and Mum have a broken gene, so we have like a faulty gene. It's called Nexin 26, and it's only when the mother and father get together and they both have it, there's a 1 in 4 chance that your child will be born deaf. So Holly was okay, but Jasmine was born deaf. But it's only when you're together. It's the way that when the baby's made, it's just the way the genes mix, and if they mix in a different way, then your child's born deaf. Yeah. We was worried about your future, what you'd do for work, if you'd learn to speak, if you'd ever be able to hear anything. It was just worry, because we knew nothing about deafness. It was all news to us. So it was a big worry, because it was all new. We didn't understand anything. I said you could. Yeah. So they said with this Connexin 26, it's possible that you could have other problems, like problems with your kidneys, even your eyes could get bad. Lots of things that could happen, but thankfully Jasmine's okay. She only got the deafness from it, and this is just a normal thing for us now. It's not a problem. Because we had a lady come round and helped Mum. I was out working, but Mum was home looking after you and Holly, and she helped Mum. She showed you her signs, and because you was only 10 months, she said it'd be good for you to learn sign to communicate, because it's even for hearing children, signing's a good way to communicate, because you can ask for things quicker than when you learn to speak. So showed you this book, and straight away you was just natural. You was BSL natural, and you was communicating. That they couldn't believe how quick you were learning to communicate, and you were asking for things that, 10 months, 11 months, 12 months before any other children, hearing children. You knew how to ask for things, for food and drink. You knew the sign, and Mum made a book. She stuck pictures in a book. Yeah, like meat, banana, yeah. Chicken. So, she doesn't like chicken nuggets. Yeah. It was, Holly looked after you, but I could see that you were going to be trouble. Yeah, you were close. Yeah, because Holly looked after you, and but then when you learnt to sign, you would ask Holly to get things for you and that, and so Holly grew up knowing sign too, and then you took advantage of her knowing sign language. So after the lady was teaching you BSL, Mum was learning from the lady too, so I decided I would go to college to learn BSL, because some doctors and said that lots of parents couldn't be bothered to learn sign language, which is, we couldn't believe it. How could you not want to learn how to communicate with your child? You can't ignore that they're deaf. You've got to find a way of communicating with them to give them the best and normal life like everyone else. So it was important to learn BSL. And that's right, yeah. Yeah. It's sad. Yeah, I know. And once, it's difficult at first to learn BSL, but then you get used to it, and you, like any new language, you get used to it, and it's important to communicate with your children. You have to do it. I just wish more people learn you know, BSL and sign language. So just outside in shops and places like that, and workplaces, so that lots of people could communicate easier with deaf people. I think you're a very, very good communicator, because like when we used to go on holiday to different countries like Spain or Greece, if we didn't understand a person who spoke, you know, Spanish or Greece, Jasmine would always find a way to communicate with them. She was the best communicator. So the language barrier was moved, and Jasmine always found a way to communicate with people wherever they're from. So yeah. And you always wanted to go up, and you was never shy about going and asking questions, asking for food and asking for drinks. You would just go straight up there. You were confident, more confident than lots of hearing people or hearing children. You had the confidence. You would just go up and you'd ask, and you'd come back with what we wanted. So you always found a way. Yeah, or younger. So that was difficult. We took you to Great Ormond Street Hospital. Said it'd be a good idea for Jasmine to have a cochlear implant. She was only like, I think two or three maybe, and we went through the process. Lots of difficult meetings, lots of information. We had to learn things, and we just found it very, very difficult to. Back then, the operation was it was a much bigger operation. Yeah, so it's like the skull would be like this big. Yeah, right around here. And it was, I think it was like a 6 or 7 hour operation, and it was, I think so. I know it was a long operation. I might be wrong, but I know it was a long operation. It was more, you know, more invasive. It was a bigger operation, and we just couldn't bring ourselves. We knew that you was a good communicator, and we all did sign, so we could all talk together. So we said no at that time. We just couldn't go through it, and then we all continued to learn sign language, and we all grew up communicating absolutely perfectly, no problem at all. And then I think when Jasmine was 9, she said you wanted to learn to speak, didn't you? You wanted to learn to speak. Yeah, because no. Yeah. When Jasmine just had hearing aids, she could hear virtually nothing. Just very, very, very deep, very, very low sounds, like maybe a lorry going past or something. But it had to be a very deep sound, so she couldn't hear any high or mid pitches. after the operation, I think you have to wait about 3 weeks for it to get better, to heal. And then you go back for switch on. Is it 4 weeks? Switch on. Both coming for the switch on, yeah. It was mixed feelings because we just didn't know what was going to happen. And no. So when they switch on, you cried because the noise. Jasmine had never heard anything before, and then she hears this, yeah, and it shocked her that she could hear these noises. Yeah. So she cried. She wanted it off, and we had to tell them to turn all the levels down. Jasmine was saying earlier that we went to the park. I took Jasmine to the park soon afterwards when we got after the second adjustment change to a cochlea, and we went to the park and we was walking down to the park, and there at the bottom I think there was some animals, and I think they were birds, and Jasmine could hear. She went, "What's that noise?" And it was birds singing, and Jasmine said, "I didn't know that birds sung, that they made a noise," and it was like that was like amazing and shocking and amazing, yeah. Yeah. So that was fantastic. That. Yeah, that was upsetting. When I was your age now, I was in a band playing keyboards. So I love music, and I felt sad that you couldn't hear it, and I suppose I felt a little bit guilty that I loved music so much and you couldn't share that with me. But you can feel, so things have changed. So now you can get bass pack that goes on your back. So hopefully in the future, when I do some more music, maybe hopefully we can get a bass pack so you can feel and we can share it together. No. But yeah, you go to lots of, well, you used to before coronavirus. You used to go to lots of parties and with very, very loud music and boom, 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 boom. And does the floor move? Does the floor move too? Deaf people have different levels of deafness, don't they? Some can hear things, some can't. Different levels. So everyone's different. Yeah, and lots of deaf people love music. Yeah. That was good when you did that song with the. That was good though when you did that song with the rapper. Fantastic. Nice first beat. Look forward to more.